What the hell is going on in Newcastle right now? I mean, this is ridiculous. Again, Sven Botman picking up a second ACL injury this season. What is literally going on the medical team? Now, from what I've read since last night, since this news broke last night, that Sven Botman will be out for 9 months, at least 6 months, with this ACL injury. His second ACL injury this season. Getting one ACL injury in a season is bad enough, but two ACL injuries, this is where questions need to start being asked. What is going on the medical team at Newcastle United? I mean, we've already seen so many players picking up long-term injuries this season. We've seen Joe Linton pick up a long-term recurring injury. We've seen Nicky Pope pick up injuries. We've seen, Harvey Barnes being out for a massive of 4 months. We've now seen Sven Botman, playing games when he's got an ACL injury. What the hell is going on with the medical department in Newcastle United? It needs a complete and utter overhaul. Now, like I say, not all of the blame can be put at the door of the medical department because of what we've seen today from the post put out by Sven Botman, who put out a post and he says that it was his decision back in October, November when the medical team were saying, that he could go and have surgery. It was his decision to decide to rest instead, and as he wanted to be back to help the team out ASAP, and credit him for that because, that shows the determination of the lad to get back into the action straight away. But the club should have been doing something to, make sure that he goes and gets the right treatment for this situation. ACL injuries are no joke. This is a career-ending injury. We've seen it with so many players over the years where they've ended up losing their careers through ACL injuries. And for Sven Botman to be playing the likes of Man City, AC Milan, even Sheffield United with an ACL injury is absolutely crazy to think. That he was actually in them games with that injury. What could have seriously happened, playing them games? I don't even want to bear to think, because it is just not good. Something definitely needs done about the medical department. There needs to be a massive overhaul on the medical department in Newcastle United because, these kind of injuries, these recurring injuries that we've seen this season as well, the likes of how many hamstring injuries have we literally seen this season. It's so hard to count on one hand how many times we've seen a player, go out with a hamstring injury, then come back, then go out again with the same hamstring injury. I mean, things need to be overhauled in the medical department in Newcastle United. It definitely needs to be looked at. We've already seen this season as well, one of the medical department, departing because he was on maternity leave for his wife, who hadn't even had the child yet, and he was off on maternity leave. That is just absolutely disgusting behaviour by that individual who is no longer at the club now because of that behaviour. Now, looking at reports that's come out from Keith Downey, he says a couple of things worth noting on the Sven Botman ACL injury. Of course, talking about the possibility of him having surgery back in October and November, Botman decided to rest instead. And they did say that, of course, the club had taken advice from multiple specialists, and there wasn't a definitive answer according to what Keith Downey's saying on his post on Twitter, or X, whichever you want to call it, as to what was the best course of action. Was also a number of other players who we've seen re-rupture ACLs having had surgery in between. So surgery isn't always the best answer, we know that. For ACL injuries. I mean, I'm no medical professional, but at the end of the day, we know that ACL injuries are pretty, damaging to a player's career. We've seen Alan Shearer had it in the past, we've seen other players with them in the past as well. They're no joke. They can end careers. So they definitely need to be looked at in, the best possible way. It's looking for the best solution to solve the problem. Unfortunately, I don't think they've gotten that best solution here because we've seen, Sven Botman out again this season with his second ACL injury. So it's not great. It really isn't. And if we look at the stats, of what Newcastle is like with Botman and without Botman, with Botman, 53 matches, 49.1% win ratio, average goals against of 1.2, points per match of 1.8. Without Botman, 13 matches, 38.5% win ratio, average goals against of 1.5, and points per match of 1.4. So we definitely need Botman in the side. He's our best centre back. And now we're not going to have him for the remaining games of the season, and we're probably not going to have him until December of 2024 or January of 2025, which is absolutely crazy to think, that he'll be out for that long. 6 months minimum, 9 months being the maximum. That is absolutely disgusting. And whoever, at the club on the medical side of things decided to go along with Botman saying, I want to take the rest. Fair enough, you want to please the player, you want to go with what the player's decision is, but you're the medical professional. It's your choice to make the final decision on whether or not that player goes into the game still or decides, to go off and have surgery. You're the medical professional. It's your field, so you're where the buck stops. You need to make that decision, and I feel they've really made the wrong one here because it's now going to cost for next season. And it's just not good. It's not on. Let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Away the lads.